So remember a couple of years ago, I talked about DNA methylation, and that's even in my first published book because I was railing against the oncology industry that was using DNA methylation as a therapy against breast cancer. And so I Googled DNA methylation and looked at the different molecules, the chemical makeup, CH4 and CH3, carbon and hydrogen, 4 carbons or 4 hydrogen atoms and 3 hydrogen atoms, something like that. So CH4 is methane and CH3 is DNA methylation. And so when someone is obese, no different than when you have an overpopulation of the planet, too much methane is being released and it's causing anomalies to the cells, which then mutate, and then, you have cancer. That's why obese people are a high risk group of being immunocompromised because they are trapping in too much heat. No different than this global warming that we're dealing with 7 billion people who are on low sodium diets emitting toxic farts. I mean, I hate to bring it down to that, but now I see the bigger picture. I'm telling you, I'm seeing the bigger picture as I remember the information I spoke about a couple of years ago. And so I found out that sodium is what cleans the methane so it's not so toxic in the air. And that is like in a person's body. When you are on a high sodium diet, the methane is being released, yes, but it's not toxic, and your cells are able to respirate. Okay? And so you got to think of your body as earth. When you have too many cells in your body, too many fat cells, and you're not very proportional and you're obese, you're going to tax not only your organs, but you're going to cause then your cells to mutate. And that's why colon cancer is predominant in those that are obese. And that's why people get bariatric surgery. And so, it makes sense. The whole green movement, I understand it now. I understand it from the point of view of a person. Okay, you have to think of yourself as Earth. You are Mother Earth. And so when I figured out that they're using DNA methylation to stop cancer cells, which I understand that, it's fast replication, more than the body can handle, but they're using methane to do that. Maybe minus an atom or minus a molecule, so it's not so aggressive. But DNA methylation stops transcription. Methane in the atmosphere it traps heat in the air, so then you are causing imbalances on Earth, and you're going to see the ice caps melt, you're going to see more inclement weather, and you can blame it on the Illuminati and say, oh, they're trying to destroy you, but they're not trying to destroy themselves. Okay? It's you have 7 billion people on low sodium diets releasing toxic farts, and then that traps all the heat in the atmosphere and causes then global climate shift patterns or whatever. So that's why the J juice is so important to understand, but not even just the J juice, because you don't want to be too overly salted in reaction to evolution, because you don't want to be in a cured state and be underweight and then not have enough heat in your body. Because if you have too much of the heat or too much of a good thing, then it will take away substance. And so you've seen people who are underweight. You've seen people who are elderly. They're skeletal, hardly any fat on them. They're always cold. It's like being in a nuclear winter when someone is underweight. They don't have any heat to them. They can't keep themselves warm enough to replicate cells, enough to do anything. And so they're not going to last very long in this world. Neither will an obese person. That's why everything comes down to with the JJ protocol is either you're obese or you're underweight. And you have to use the JJ protocol relative to your size. Okay? But DNA methylation is how your body burns fuel in your body. How your body burns fuel. And so JJ is very clean burning. And so, yeah, you do a few waterfalls and you release all that shit that will cause methylation. Those that are afraid to shit, they're full of methane. That methane is going to cause anomalies to your cells. It's going to cause cancer. And so now, now I can bring it back to full circle from when I first started the JJ mentality, looking up all the therapies that's in oncology. Okay? And so the irony is that the people in the green movement are on low sodium diets releasing toxic farts, and those that are not in the green movement are afraid of salt and still releasing toxic farts, but think the vaccines are going to save them, or not take a vaccine is going to save them. I'm sorry. So if salt is not acknowledged, nothing is going to save you. That's the key thing about all of this. And so I'm kind of laughing at myself because I'm just like, oh my God. It's from the micro to the macro. And so, yeah, so that makes sense. So those of you that are highly obese and are full of shit, you have a lot of poop, a lot of methane in your body. And it's only a matter of time where you're going to be dealing with cancer, disease, chronic illness, chronic, autoimmune disorders, or the virus is going to take you out. When you're underweight on a low sodium diet, then it's just a matter of time before the environment cannibalizes you. Because low sodium diets on bodies that are underweight are also undergoing DNA methylation, and you're going to see, obviously, with someone on a low sodium diet is not experiencing gene transcription because they don't have any substance to them, and they're also full of shit. Even though you don't really see it because they're not obese, they're not regenerating. Okay, so I'm writing my introduction, and I wrote this one sentence. This is what's having me really pull this all together, because I'm like, we are in a great viral reset. Hence the title of this book, Immortal Hominids, The Great Viral Reset, Humanity 2.0. Viral resets happen for many reasons, but the main reason is to keep the balance of life and resources sustaining the life. While some people are not aware there is a great viral reset happening, there are plenty of indicators pointing to the direction of extraordinary changes within the political, religious, and scientific community based upon the COVID-19 viral pandemic. And so the Georgia Guidestones monument erected in the 1980s in Elbert County, Georgia, outlined a transparent message to the masses, which has been met with some resistance. As a result of the fossil fuel dependent people on low sodium diets, humanity will be facing a predictable but rapid decline in the population due to the methane emissions causing global warming, trapping heat in the atmosphere, as well as their bodies. And I got to put that down. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. In the atmosphere, as well as their bodies. As well as their bodies. Okay. Even more importantly, the methane trapped in people's bodies from low sodium diets are also repressing gene transcription, causing a fast and predictable decline when vital organs are compromised in the process. Okay, and then what did I say here about equally important? Equally important, the COVID-19 viral pandemic of late 2019 and climate change seems to have accelerated this intention, causing speculation it was planned event despite the denials from credible sources. Even if it were true, authority strategy of plausible deniability will keep the masses distracted with speculation while carrying out the plan simultaneously. On a positive note, most humans facing this potential progressive catastrophic change can sidestep some of the intentions if they have access to food, water, shelter, and clothing. And so then I talk about the cabbage and everything. So I'm telling you, if you think the vaccines or not taking the vaccine is going to save you, if you're on a low sodium diet, totally immunocompromised, it's not going to matter what you do, because the agenda is still going to remain the same. This is a rapid decline in the population, and it was planned, yes, because it needed to be planned. Having 7 billion people is like dealing with an obese person who doesn't want to deal with the fact that they have to lose some weight, or else they will deal with dying prematurely because of the amount of methane trapped in their body. And you can't dispute this. And if you're underweight, then you don't have enough substance to you to handle the environment, especially as dynamic as this. So you're going to have to now face the music here, guys. You either got to understand the Jilly Juice mentality, or you just start counting the days of, you won't know when your number's going to come up, because nobody knew, but they thought they had all this time based upon their age and maybe their genetic history. But that's out the window. In this dynamic environment, what you thought was the amount of time you had to do whatever isn't going to be applicable anymore, because there are a lot more factors in play that you're not even aware of. And so, I don't know. All right, bye.